Yeah, there's the health club, the local, whatever it is, for high school kids in the summer. They can go for free. They open it up to the high school, so that's where I know Notre Dame High School. We went those kids.
Well, that's a business plan that I would suggest you don't get into. Is just free healthcare memberships.
I think most of the lessons I've learned have been the hard way.
It's not just selling a product, it's selling anything.
My mom came home and said, I heard they're having clown college auditions, and I told my mom, good luck, go get them.
Time to catch up with the CEO Bros after hours. The conversation continues.
And it is Friday.
Studio.
It was like a long time since the last Friday
we
were together.
Wow, we don't bother. Our good friends at Tito's have joined us.
We are powered by
Tito's.
And you know what's best? You take spotted cow and a little Tito's. You know what I'm saying?
You don't need to do that.
I don't care. I don't need to get crazy on a Friday.
Whenever you feel like pouring some in my
Speaking
mug.
of getting
I'm going to
crazy,
keep my beer facing this way until they sponsor us. So no label on this. I'm just drinking generic beer.
Yeah. Well, mine's this way. That we have not planned this out. They're going to figure out.
No, sorry, I should have thought of that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy, we are doing Wild Card Friday. And what I've done, I have taken 6 stories.
Actually, I have cards.
I have cards.
Wild Card
6
Friday.
stories that are in the news that I'm going to talk about, but I want to get your take on it. And I may do a different point of view to see what you are, and we're going to go.
This isn't a game. No one wins or loses. He doesn't know any of these in advance.
Doesn't know, right, so we're going to go. So not a game. So we're going to start with what's in the news. Reese's peanut butter cup. So what's in the news right now is
candy.
Brad Reese's. No relation to you, because Brad wouldn't count as a relation. Now he's the grandson of the founder of Reese's peanut butter cup. He publicly accused Hershey of quietly changing ingredients. So that went viral. Hershey's came out and said, no, we haven't. Then the pressure came and they go, okay, we have. Now, not to the peanut butter cup.
They did change.
They did, but not to the peanut butter cup. So they have said, yes, we are using different like chocolate-like ingredients. So it became a big story. And so my quick point of view on this is customers weren't told clearly. So is that a problem in general? And then how far can you push a legacy product that people are attracted to, that people are addicted to, if you will?
Well, getting back to your favorite brand, Dunkin' Donuts, I mean, they sure changed their product.
People hate change, no matter how good it is or how good you think it is as the owner of the company.
Yeah.
Because don't you feel like they made too big of a change with that?
Yeah, and we've talked about this a million times. PE firms get in, financial wonks get in, like we got to increase profitability. Let's just cut a corner here. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's use peanut butter cream instead of peanut butter or some other, a lot of places now it's like peanut butter like or peanut butter flavored or peanut butter tasting.
But it's not really peanut
something,
butter.
Yeah, and it's not.
For all those nut allergies out there.
And I think the competitors, from what I've read, are jumping all over this because now there's other peanut butter cups that have actual real milk chocolate, real peanut butter, and I love Reese's. I love peanut butter chocolate cups. I don't know about Reese's. I feel like I've noticed the change. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's like, this is.
God, when you scour 50, 60 at a time, it really doesn't. It's hard to tell. You don't see the impact of that when you're just pouring them down with a glass of Tito's and Reese's peanut butter cups. No.
Do you think if they would have been more transparent, it would help? Or do you think, I'm being honest, do you think they were right to say, let's secretly do it?
I think they thought no one would notice. Or if people did notice, it wouldn't become a thing. But nowadays, with social media and everybody looking for ways to, rile people up, I mean, this is actually a timely topic. I don't know if you've seen a lot of what RFK is doing and Kessler, who used to be the head of the FDA with this ultra processed foods. I was shocked the other day. I was watching 60 Minutes and Kessler, who used to be the head of the FDA, said, in Europe, there's 400 approved ingredients that you could use in food.
Yeah.
The government there has approved. In the United States, nobody knows how many ingredients are used, but they think it's between 4,000 to 10,000.
And I could be wrong, isn't the Subway bread illegal in other countries because of the sugar and all that?
Oh, it might be. Yeah, I know.
Like you can't, or not illegal, like you can't do it because it's so
probably,
processed.
probably would not be acceptable.
It would not be acceptable.
In European countries, they wouldn't allow it by law because of the restrictions they have on certain chemicals. If
if that's the case with Subway. But I agree with Brian is that they probably didn't think that there was any kind of a significant change that the customer, the end customer would say, this isn't a Reese's peanut butter cup. But,
Still looked like peanut butter.
yeah, but the fact that now that it comes out and says we changed it, that will be obviously the story of itself.
Yeah.
It's like you just took my favorite tasting, chocolate bar, chocolate cup, peanut butter cup, and you changed it. But you know what? That's not bad for exposure.
No.
That's not bad for brand awareness. That's not bad for advertising. So I'm sure that wasn't the original intent of doing that. But the fact that the story has now gotten viral, I'm sure now that's probably doing good for sales for them.
And you think they think you can come out of this in a positive way?
I don't even think it's a problem. I actually think that the viral sensation of people talking about Reese's probably has generated more sales and revenue has increased without having the data. I wouldn't be surprised if sales didn't increase, revenues have gone up from that story of itself, even though your premise was, is this bad? Or how bad could this be? It's
Right.
like, I actually think it's probably good. I probably think it's good.
And Brad Reese's sticking up for his legacy name.
Legacy,
Did
I
the
mean,
right-
his
did the right
name's
name.
on it. We've
Yeah.
talked about that before too. When your name's on it, even if you're not involved anymore, there's that legacy. But it's happening everywhere. Everything is shrinking. The sizes are getting smaller. Think about chocolate bars.
You mean the
Christ.
portion size?
The portions. Well, even how much you get for $1 is like just keeps getting smaller and less of them of
All right.
everything.
So I live in Parkridge, Illinois, and we had this brewery that was going to open up, and we were very excited. They put the sign up and everything. And then I just saw on Facebook, which we will post up here, that they made an announcement. I'm sorry, we cannot move forward. They did not say why. It's unforeseen circumstances.
Is this the bar?
It's a brewery.
Brewery.
This is
So
a
that was going to open.
Like a
chain
microbrew.
brewery or
Microbrew.
Yeah, it's called Microphone Brewery.
Is that, Brian, is that a chain?
Microbrew. No, just an independent brewery.
independent
all
brewery,
these
okay.
microbreweries.
So I took a look at it, and there was a Brewer's Art, which is a 30-year brewery filed for Chapter 7, owing $10 million with very little assets, and they're calling the Craft Beer Shakeout. So they're saying it was booming for 15 years.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Younger customers are going away more from alcohol. So my point of view question is craft beer a bubble that popped? And if people are moving away from alcohol, how do you pivot if you're in this industry?
Right.
Well, those craft brew snobs like my brother here.
Not me, our other brother.
I'm actually
our
a
third
Tito's.
brother,
I'm a Tito's
right?
vodka guy, so I don't care about the craft beer guys.
Is this craft beer?
I don't think so.
no,
I would.
no,
I
that's
mean,
not craft beer.
it might be. They're an independent. I think it's definitely a bubble. I mean, it got out of control in the last 5-10 years. There's microbreweries popping up everywhere, all kinds of crazy names, crazy labels, crazy cans. And there was apps like to keep track of what microbrews and what IPAs you've tried and
flavors, what tastes.
well, that's what I think the death knell of the microbrew is when they started putting things like pineapple and grapefruit juice in beer. It's like, okay, that's not even beer anymore. We're getting crazy. Like, come on. So that's
anger. I'm hearing bitterness. What I'm not hearing is a craft beer.
well, that's when they lost me. Like somebody goes, "Oh, you got to try this IPA. It's got grapefruit juice and pear juice in it." And be like, "What?
I just want a beer.
I just want a beer."
Now, are you being passive aggressive because I earlier said I like pineapple on my pizza?
Yes,
Is this your way of telling me that I'm ruining the pizza industry?
Well, because that's not pizza. If you put pineapple on it, that's something
So
else.
the question, Matt, is: has it popped? Is the craft beer bubble popped?
And then if it has, if you're a CEO, how do you pivot?
Right. Well, think of all the pressures on it. The marijuana is being legalized in state after state, so that competes with alcohol. You got all kinds of canned alcohols now. Like I haven't tried one yet, but you can get anything in a can: a margarita,
Well, there's
Manhattan,
all types of spritzers and types of things involving
spritzers
vodka. The vodka flavors, as I have in mixed drinks, but now they're canning all of that, right?
Yeah, and
But
everybody's taking stimulants now, like Zims and stuff. So you get that in your mouth, you can't be drinking.
He's throwing out this. What is he on? He's red. Oh yeah, you got the F25 pill. You got the marijuana.
But I do think that the reality is that I also think the Gen Zers are moving more health conscious.
Yeah.
Like they're saying that there's a rejuvenation at the gyms and the health clubs, like that they're going back. And so, I do think it's cyclical. I think it's cyclical. I think that craft beers will come back around again. I don't think they're dead for good. I think that there's an evolution of there's cycles, and I think people are getting away from going out, spending time at bars, and in this case, specialized craft beer independent bars or chain bars. And I think it's a health conscious generation that's moving into the clubs now. I mean, I can't even think about how many friends my son has where they're all going to the gym.
Yeah.
They're all going to health clubs.
Yeah.
They're all working out more, spending less time at bars, because I don't think it's a craft beer issue so much as it is going out and partying at bars versus
people getting away from alcohol. Yeah, there's the health club, the local, whatever it is, for high school kids in the summer. They can go for free. They open it up to the high school. So that's where I know Notre Dame High School. We went. Those kids.
Well, that's a business plan that I would suggest you don't get into. Is just free healthcare memberships.
I think to answer your question on what I would do.
So you own one. What do you do?
If you own a microbrewery, you either have to have a really solid niche, like you have a beer. Like I think the problem with a lot of them just made 20, 30 different flavors. Like if you have one beer, your SKUs got
product SKUs are so wide,
too broad, and a lot of it's copy. Everybody's got the same flavors. But if you've got one that's really good, narrow your focus on that one beer, because distribution's brutal. You're not going to get space at a liquor store for 20 different flavors. They're going to go, hey, you're known for this beer. We'll give you space for this. Same with the bar, with the taps. You can only have so many taps at a bar.
Yes.
So
and they always talk about like a shelf space. They always talk about like if you have a bread, okay, well there's already 20 brands of bread on the shelf. So if you have some bread, guess what? You're not going to have 6 different flavors of bread. It's going to be.
And what makes yours different than the other 20 that we should even give it a space on the shelf? If you don't have that, if you're just a copycat that you just got out there and said, I can make crazy cans and labels and stuff like that. If you haven't sold it by now, you're going to be like,
because there's a place Beer in the Wall where it has all, and it's beautiful to look at, all the designs, but you're wondering like who can keep up with all these flavors. So to your point,
and who drinks them regularly? Right. Because like any business, even with our podcast, it's the regular drinkers that keep you in business. You may have sales or weekend things, or it's new, a new flavor and a sales spike.
But there's a difference, Brian. Like where this bar that Matt just mentioned. Now that is a niche in itself. It's like we are the bar that provides the 500 flavors.
Right, that's true.
So come to us, and you can essentially sample test every beer from around the world, or every beer made. That's a niche.
That's different than a microbrew.
That's different. You're correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So
my Beer in the Wall is where I go. That's not the one that closed.
Okay.
The other one.
I'm just saying. I'm going along with what Brian's saying is that if you have a broad view of product, take craft beers, take whatever product you want to use. If you've got several SKUs, you've got to pull your SKUs down into what's the product that's your bread and butter. What are your main 2 or 3 or even 1 that's driving the revenue, and focus there. Put all your attention on those 1 or 2 or 3 total brands or total in the product line. Because if you start spreading yourself too thin, you're just not going to have the ability to, and as Brian mentioned, distribution becomes a problem, because if I'm selling 30 different things, you're probably selling a little of everything, and your margins are dropping considerably. So that's a problem.
And you mentioned the podcast. And speaking of the podcast, what we don't have many of is subscribe buttons. There's only one subscribe button. So hit that one subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Get more content. Download it to you. Send us an email, a message. Love to hear from you.
You know what else I was going to say with the subscribe button? I think you have to turn on notifications. I think the default is it's not on.
Now?
Well, not necessarily you, but if you don't have that set to general, so that you get notified anytime there's new content.
All right. Yeah. All right. Our next one, speaking of red subscribe button.
You're just going to keep firing these out?
I'm going to keep firing.
Oh,
we're just going. It's wild card.
Here we go. Wild card Friday.
We're just going on. Red Lobster. 2024, they filed for bankruptcy. They closed 130 restaurants. They cited, I shouldn't laugh. It just sounds
Wait, don't make friends of our good friends at Red Lobster.
I'm not. It's just this sentence makes me laugh. The endless shrimp promo lost millions. There's a Simpsons joke in there somewhere.
That man ate all our shrimp. and 2 plastic lobsters.
'Tis no man, 'tis a remorseless eating machine. Arr.
The all-you-can-eat
Mr. Simpson.
Does this sound like a man who had all he could eat?
And after you went and had all you could eat, what did you do from there, Mrs. Simpson?
I am Troy McClure. You might remember me from such podcasts as Help, my epidermis is showing.
We went fishing, is what she said. They go, after you spent all night and didn't get to eat all you could eat.
Mrs. Simpson, what did you and your husband do after you were ejected from the restaurant?
We pretty much went straight home.
Mrs. Simpson, you're under oath.
We drove around until 3 a.m. looking for another all-you-can-eat fish restaurant.
And when you couldn't find one?
We went fishing.
Did these sound like the actions of a man who had all he could eat?
No, not at all. That could have been me.
Remember, we did an episode. Brandon had a Red Lobster shirt. We were joking about Pinchy from the city.
This isn't the Red Lobster logo. And she's like, oh, Red Lobster. And I said, I love Red Lobster. And she says, oh, I just can't stand Red Lobster. Now, I don't know if this is going to go on either side of the advertiser pursuit tracker.
I think it's up the middle. Yeah.
I actually am a big fan of Red Lobster. So our good friends at Red Lobster, I toast you out there.
I think it goes in the positive because I haven't been to a Red Lobster, and you saying the story. Now I'm going, I should go to a Red Lobster.
Wait, you've never been?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Why
my
would
God.
I have gone?
I
No.
love it. Love Red Lobster. And so just to answer your question.
I guess you can say that about anything.
I mean, I'm not a seafood eater, and I've been there.
I got up early this morning and I was hungry.
And Homer had a pet lobster.
All right, so my question to you on all of this,
Yeah.
here's my question
Okay.
to you. Promotions that drive traffic amazingly, but destroy margins. When you make that call, when do you look out for?
Yeah, I mean, to say it was so successful that it bankrupted the company, somebody didn't plan very well there, I think. That seems like a math problem.
Tell me more. What do you...
Well, how could that be possible? Like, usually if you're giving something away for free, it's a loss leader. It's not the main product. Like you give this away for free to get people to buy this, you know.
For example, at Olive Garden, they used to say free breadsticks.
Right.
But their expectation was that you're ordering an
buy
entree,
something.
a pasta, and you get free breadsticks. This is your free meal. Right. And so that's why they went bankrupt.
This is like if Tito's said, "Hey, free vodka this month."
Yeah, don't say that about our good friends at Tito's. Tito's would not at all suggest
I don't think they would. That would be a great promotion.
So you're saying the problem was on the giveaway. Should not have been the shrimp.
Yeah, the shrimp alone.
Right.
Like, there's got to be something
a supplemental
more to
product,
it.
a supplemental.
See, they probably think, we'll get the shrimp lover in the family to get all 5 people to come out, and the other 4 will eat something else. But when all 5 people in the family get the unlimited free shrimp, it's like
and drink water.
Right. Like we just talked about. People aren't drinking alcohol. So yeah, that's a funny one.
Promotion to get feet going, to get people calling, to get people buying is a great thing. You should do that. But I think the program itself was flawed. The product they were actually using, much like our good friends at Target, for the products they were using in their bags, their gift bags around dinner, where they were throwing things in there that everybody thought was going to be like a high value product, turned out to be little trinkets that were worth nothing. Yeah. That was the right idea, wrong product. And so in this case, Red Lobster, I think what happened there is they had a great promo with the wrong product, and that's why it failed.
Could you say that Target, though, had the right idea but hyped it too much? Could they have reset those expectations? Because it sounds like if they're giving away Uno cards and all that, that's probably correct because it's not costing them anything. They probably should not have made the bag so big and should have set expectations.
Well, yeah, but if they should have made the bag big, and then they threw what? They threw Kleenex, they threw Uno cards in there.
Yes, they did.
It's like you have to understand that if you're driving a promotion to get people to the store, to line up at a store outside at 2 a.m. to get this magic bag, giveaway bag, you better be giving something in there that's worth your time. So
Or it's going to backfire. Okay. Yeah, the only place I can think of to give free shrimp is if you just opened a brand new seafood place and it's your grand opening week, to drive traffic, create awareness. Red Lobster didn't need awareness. People know who I think everybody knows Red Lobster. Given our last conversation, I'm not going to anything anymore.
We'll get there. All right, so speaking with another big name, we're going with Walgreens Boots Alliance. they cut 600 jobs. I know 3 people who work at Walgreens. They all survived, but I know firsthand, very tense moments going on at Walgreens. So did Walgreens, I have 2, I'll break them up. Did Walgreens expand too aggressively? And then my next one is interesting.
That's a news story that I was unaware of. Can you just give me a quick? So Walgreens is
they're a disaster, is what they are. I owned a lot of stock.
Walgreens will not be. Walgreens will not be a sponsor.
And I just saw where it was going, and it was like, what happened?
What do you
to this
know?
Company?
What do you know?
Well, it just seems like they forgot what business they were in. It was very confusing. Like, is this a convenience store? Is this a pharmacy? Because I thought that the expansion of the stores was a great idea. I mean, they got a great look to the stores. They got great locations. But I think it got confusing. Like, what are they? They started adding clinics, so you could go in there instead of to a doctor. And then most recently, I think they're just getting clobbered by CVS, who's also having problems, but in terms of employees. Like, you go in and the pharmacy's closed in the middle of the day. And they're like, yeah, we're closed today. It's like, you called me to pick up my prescription. Well, hopefully we'll be open tomorrow. Like, so yeah, this has been kind of a 5-year decline. I mean, ever since
Walgreens was involved in the girl who went to jail for that scam. What's the medical company with the 1 drop of blood thing?
Oh, right. The 20. Yeah. It's not 23andMe because that one's legit. It was the other one that would tell you your lineage.
But they partnered with her. That ended up being a fraud business, and they got caught in that.
Yeah, so I think this is a company that just lost track of what they were and what they are, and this is what happens. And it happens slowly over time. It's not an overnight collapse. It's all of a sudden customers are like, geez, they don't have the products I want. The prices are high. The service isn't as good as it used to be. And you just leave. You go somewhere else.
Here's an angle that would be a major shift in how it's done. And that's with Amazon, still staying with Walgreens, with Amazon and stuff, is retail pharmacy now becoming a loss leader industry. So instead of saying we're going to build our business and make millions off of pharmacies, is Amazon, everyone's so undercutting that they have to look at it as we're going to lose money off this to get people in stores, which would drastically change their business.
Yeah, because what else?
Is it headed that way?
Other than liquor, what do you go into a Walgreens for than pharmacy? And then they hope you pick up stuff on the way, or maybe go in for greeting card. But they got into managed care. There's a lot of things behind the scenes they got into that I think dragged them down. And then you've got, like you said, Amazon jumping in, Walmart jumping into pharmacy, all these discount programs for pharmacy now. I don't think there's as much money in it as there used to be when they were expanding like crazy, and they just got caught. To me, it's a management issue. Management was not focused on we've talked about it a million times, on the core business. Like, what is it that gets people in your store? What is it that they're buying? Why do they come to you instead of your competitors? And they just wandered in the desert for like 3 or 4 years, and here's the results.
All right. Yep. Okay, we got.
It was a favorite store. I mean, I liked it. Like I said, I owned stock in it.
It wasn't your favorite store. You just had stock in it in Europe.
I had stock and I sold it. Luckily I got out. But,
there you go.
All right, so sticking on, so there's massive store closings. You have Macy's, Pizza Hut, Wendy's, Kroger. They say more than 1,200 stores expected to close in the U.S. in 2026. But here's the question: what can you tell about bad locations versus a dying brand? Do you think part of those closings are because they expanded in locations that just weren't viable, or do you think this is literally a dying brand of retail?
So read the list again.
Yeah, well, Macy's, Pizza Hut, Wendy's, and Kroger is what they listed, and then they say there's going to be 1,200 stores to close in 2026.
Well, I mean, so from my vantage point, I mean, Macy's is different than Pizza Hut in the sense that one's a clothing store, one's a pizza joint. One's most likely located at a mall, and people aren't shopping at malls anymore. Right. Standalone stores are becoming less frequented. People are doing a lot more online shopping. So it could become a dinosaur, or it is becoming a dinosaur, I should say, based on just the propensity to be shopping online. Pizza Hut's probably a different story. I mean, they probably have not. You have to evolve over time. You have to kind of pivot with where your customers are heading and make those pivots. I mean, we always make the joke about Blockbuster versus Netflix. And did Blockbuster make changes in time? No, they eventually went out of business. So usually the companies that succeed through these evolutions are the ones that see what's happening in advance, pivot with their customers, and then evolve. They evolve with the customer. And typically the brands that are going out of business are the ones that just don't take the time to get out ahead of it and figure out how the business is actually evolving. So my take on those companies are they probably haven't done enough to get out ahead of what's the changing dynamic of their customer and how is their business evolving. That's why I would, and that could be in any business, any space, any industry. If you're not evolving with your customers, you're more than likely going to fail long term.
Yeah, I think CEOs make a lot of excuses for failures. Locations could be one of them. Like Pizza Hut, I think they haven't revamped their restaurants in years. We had the whole Cracker Barrel fiasco last year. It's similar with Pizza Hut. They all still look the same, but I think it's similar to Walgreens. Like I can't tell you what the competitive position of any of those four companies is. Why I would go to Macy's instead of Walmart or someplace else. Why I would go to Pizza Hut instead of my local pizza place or, Jimmy.
Kroger is a grocery store, but I get your point.
Yeah, Kroger versus Jewel versus Albertsons, and then Wendy's. What happened to them? For a while, they were, the Baconator, and, they were all over the place. And lately, it's just, it's just a hamburger place, I guess.
Do you think after he passed away and stopped making those commercials, that helped hurt?
Probably did, because that was the identity for the company. It was Dave Thomas, this, that, and the other.
Endearing, father figure making these commercials.
Yeah, and if you're not the number one, I think all the fast food, like hamburger places, have taken a beating from, you got Five Guys, and, you see a lot of boutique type stuff pop up and create franchises, and that just all eats away at the business of a big lumbering company that's hard to change. Because, some of those companies have hundreds of franchisees. And like normal people, they hate change. Yeah. You say, hey, we want to try a new menu item. I don't want to do that. Hey, we got a new shake machine. It's too expensive. I don't want to use that. Whereas if you own one location, you can do whatever you want. And that's what they're competing with. And like Brad said, people's tastes are changing.
You don't evolve, you fail. You have to evolve. That's what I would say. So it's actually interesting dynamic you've had here with your cue cards. Are you going to bring cue cards every Friday?
I think what I'm going to do is maybe at the end of the episodes, instead of maybe do a couple of these every episode and just get your hot takes.
Speed rounds, hot takes, speed rounds. I appreciate it. I like.
You want to put them in the comments for stuff?
Yeah, put in the comments. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, ideas. Unfortunately, talking about Wendy's and Pizza Hut has made me hungry, so I got to go eat.
Well, I appreciate talking about the topics. All good, gentlemen. Have a good Friday night from Studio A.
Have a great weekend.
Baconator and a Frosty in a little bit.
Alyssa,
a Baconator and Frosty. Good night, everybody.